friends, and happy new year. I wanted to reconnect with you here and be very intentional about not just writing to you but sending you a video message as we're entering 2021. I haven't been blogging very much because 2020 was the year that it was, and I was on maternity leave, and then schools just ended up being very different. So I really had to hunker down and focus on the essentials of my life, which was, my family, my children, my husband, my private clients. And so I didn't really have space to fit connecting with you all into my schedule in a way that I would feel proud of and happy about. And so this was one of my intentions for 2020, was to really do things well. And if I couldn't do all the things that I wanted to do well, something had to go. And in this case, it was blogging. Was one of the many things that I kind of had to let go in 2020, as I'm sure I feel like we all did a lot of surrendering in 2020. And so what I wanted to offer you today, as we're starting out into a new year and are in a way given a fresh start, is a very clear intention. And this is something that I really benefited from and kind of worked on a lot in 2020. And I think it got me through a lot of the difficult phases of 2020. And the more I thought about this particular, maybe, I don't know if it's a skill or a habit or a practice. That's probably the best word. It's a practice. I think it can benefit you in all areas of life. And that practice is to connect with yourself. In 2020, there were so many different scenarios that felt challenging and difficult. So one of them, for example, being my birth with Zoe. She was born at the end of April, when here on the East Coast, we were at the height of coronavirus and didn't really know so much about it yet. And I had this very clear birth intention for how I wanted to bring her into the world. And I really had to surrender all of that. And it felt really difficult to let go of this birth plan that I had for her, because I was so intentional about my birth with both of the boys. And it just felt like with Zoe, I really had to just adjust on a weekly basis and then surrender into just doing things a little bit differently. But what really got me through that particular instance when I realized that my birth, the way I wanted it to happen, wasn't going to happen, was to connect with myself and come back into a grounded space with myself and make peace with what it was going to be and find my power in this new scenario, versus feeling like I had no power and no control and I was just the victim of this whole situation. And so that was really beneficial for me. And the same thing again, in the fall when Felix started kindergarten. Felix is my oldest. He's now 5. And he started kindergarten, and he was only gone for like 2 hours in the morning. And I was supposed to go back to work and, have help with Zoe, with a babysitter, and all the things. And so there was so much surrendering and so much, it was really hard. Like that stage of having Zoe at home and Hendrix at home so much and trying to do homeschool with Felix, it really brought me to my knees in many ways. And what I kept coming back to when I was in a place of anger and exhaustion and fatigue and just feeling like everything was just getting too much, is coming back to a place of, okay, well, I need to connect to myself. How can I connect to myself? How can I make a little bit of time every day to feel myself and stay connected to the vision I have for my family, the vision I have for myself, and how I want to go about doing things in my life. And so what I came to as I was thinking about this practice of connecting to yourself more and more, is that if you're connected to yourself, everything in your life works better. And I truly believe that. And what I mean is, when I say connected to yourself, I think when we're in a place of self-connection, we can feel peace, we can feel calm, we can feel clarity. We see so much more clearly all of our options and the things that we actually want in our life when we're connected to ourselves and who we are. Versus when we're in a place of disconnection, we are quickly to anger, we get frustrated, we are impatient, we feel like we are victims of certain situations, versus again, being in this place of connection where you can actually really feel and see your own power in each different scenario, right? Like, I think we spend so much time trying to control the uncontrollable. I feel like that's a trap that so many of us fell into in 2020, where things were just out of our control and we kept trying to control the situation, right? And as long as we're hanging on to this desire to control the uncontrollable, we will always find ourselves frustrated. And I see this people also doing in relationships, right? Like, they're waiting for their partner to change or to be a certain way so that they can be happy. But other people's actions and behavior are ultimately always out of your control. And so you have to come back to, okay, what is in my power? What is in my control? How can I truly connect to myself and my desires and my life and my intentions and take charge of those? Because that is where your point of power always is. And so the intention I want to offer you for 2021, which is also very much my own intention, is to tune into yourself, connect with yourself, and ask yourself, as a first sort of like starting point to this practice, how do you like to connect with yourself? When do you feel connected to who you really are? It's a very simple and very difficult question, but I really want to offer this to you as something to journal about, something to really think about. Maybe you want to meditate over it. Maybe you go on a walk and you really think about, when do I feel connected to myself? When do I feel like myself? When do I like the person who I am? And sometimes, you know, like you might be surprised by the answers that you get when you really ask. But knowing that and making a conscious effort every single day to connect with yourself, trust me, it will make the biggest difference in your life. It will make everything so much easier and so much more smooth and so much more clear and so much more peaceful and all the good things. So start with that and see where this question takes you. So that's my 2021 intention and offer to you. And if you feel like it, you can reply to me in this email and tell me what you discover. I would love to hear it. I think that this is an incredibly important topic and one that I'm really passionate about, because I think it's just so fundamental to our health as individuals, but also as families. And I think this is also a beautiful practice, if you're a mother like myself, that you can pass on to your children. Again, I think connected kids are happier and healthier kids. So this is where the work begins. Happy 2021.